I think as marketers, you have to understand culture and how people live in order to be relevant.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today I'm welcoming to the show Karina Kogan. She is the Chief Commercial and Marketing Officer at Pvolve, an omnichannel fitness company and method that Jennifer Aniston calls a game changer. Karina, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, omnichannel fitness company, that's a lot of technical marketing mumbo jumbo. What are you guys selling? What are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, okay. So what makes this omnichannel? So we manufacture proprietary and some patented resistance-based equipment. We pair that resistance-based equipment like resistance bands. We have one called the P band that's really great for an upper body workout. We have a P ball, which is really you can use for your core and your lower body. We have a P3 trainer, which is a full body toner. Anyway, we have all this wonderful resistance-based equipment, and we pair it with functional movements for this method, this modality that's really unique. It's a low impact method. It trains you to move your body functionally the way your body's meant to move in your life, sort of, in harmony with your body's biodynamics. So we have this, this signature, let me call it. It's far from a secret, signature method and proprietary equipment. And we sell that on our website. So you could buy the equipment, and you could also sign up for a membership, a streaming membership, and you could stream our classes and work out with the equipment from home. That's our digital business. But what makes us omnichannel is, in addition to the e-commerce and streaming capability, is we also have a really fast growing franchise business in the boutique studio space, meaning you could actually go to a studio and work out IRL. You don't have to buy the equipment. We have equipment there, and you can work out with a trainer in the studio. And we have 3 corporate-owned studios, and the rest are franchise. And we're all over North America. We actually have 2 in Canada and growing. And so that's sort of what makes Pvolve omnichannel, is this mix of brick and mortar experiences as well as our digital capabilities.
Well, that's amazing. Now, take me back in time. What was your journey like kind of leading up to and accepting the role at Pvolve?
Yeah, so I've spent the last several years actually in the health, wellness, and fitness space. I was actually with Peloton as the head of product marketing, overseeing all sort of demand-generating marketing functions from, I was at Peloton pre-IPO, so like from 2019 to post-IPO. And left at the, I believe, end of 21. So I was at Peloton for a long time through a really exciting ride. I was also the first CMO at Oura, makers of the Oura Ring, which is a smart ring that measures various health metrics, including really, really exceptional measurement of your sleep. And now I'm at Pvolve. I joined Pvolve very early last year, like in January, when the company was in conversations with Jennifer Aniston about coming on as a strategic partner in the company, and have since worked on a rebrand and the announcement of the partnership with Jen, and quite a bit of transformation for the business in terms of awareness and growth.
That's amazing. I guess I have to ask and follow up on the kind of the Jennifer Aniston partnership. Now, the company had been around before that, kind of getting things figured out. When did it make sense to approach Jennifer Aniston and like kind of establish that partnership? How did that kind of work out?
Yeah. You know what the amazing answer to that question is? Pvolve did not approach Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston approached Pvolve. So super pinch me kind of story for our founder. So Pvolve had been around for about 5 years. And during the COVID pandemic times, the dark days, Jennifer Aniston discovered Pvolve through word of mouth and started actually taking our classes, streaming. We call her a secret streamer. And she noted how different this modality is, how the approach is so sustainable and holistic, and it gives you all the physical aesthetic results you want, but it also makes you feel really good and strong in your body. And it works with any of the sensitivities that you might have. And she had actually suffered through a back injury. So Pvolve was actually, I think, a light bulb for her. I think that's why she called it a game changer, is, what you noted at the top of the call. So she, as someone who had fitness so throughout her life, right? We grown up with Jennifer Aniston on our TV, and she's always looked pretty amazing and fit. And so she noted, wow, this is something different. And the story is that her team reached out to Pvolve via LinkedIn. Yeah, her management. And our founder, Rachel Katzman, thought she was being punked.
I would absolutely think I was being punked.
Yeah, like didn't believe it. And, but answered the message, and then one thing led to another, and this partnership was formed. But I actually think what is amazing about this story is that when we talk about celebrity partnerships, or any partnership with a talent, whether it's an A-list celebrity or you're choosing an influencer, we always talk about how important it is for there to be sort of authenticity in that relationship, that the representative of your brand feel authentic to it. And there's nothing more authentic than the fact that the talent was actually a customer and a user of your product and loved it so much that they wanted to get involved, as opposed to you, right? Like going through a list on a spreadsheet and start making calls to see who answers the phone, right? Yeah.
I think it's going to be a more beneficial relationship. And I feel partnering with creators beyond just an influencer campaign is going to be a big trend that we see moving forward, is building these deeper relationships, opening up the cap table, et cetera. I don't know your deal per se, but it reminds me, another direct consumer brand, it's been around for a while, Ridge Wallet, just partnered with Marquise Brownlee, he's an YouTube famous guy. He's got about 20 million followers on there. And I know that was just announced about a week or two ago. So seeing these strategic partnerships between celebrities and existing brands is going to be an interesting thing to kind of watch.
Yeah, there was like about a month ago, I think there was like Mark Andreessen made a comment at some conference and it got picked up. I think like Wall Street Journal or somebody, whatever. It was written about quite a bit, that he sort of predicted that the near future of consumer brands is going to be celebrity led or personality led. And I think you're definitely seeing that happen. I mean, you just look at somebody like Ryan Reynolds, like, but whether it's Mr. Beast or, George Clooney and Casamigos, I think you're seeing, talent and influence and, really move businesses forward. I do think there has to be like an authentic relationship there. And,
Yeah.
I really do believe that. The example I like to use is sort of, during the NFL season, I think we were bombarded with commercials with, State Farm commercials with Patrick Mahomes, and they were really entertaining commercials. And I think you watched them because the Chiefs were on a high, but I don't think as a viewer of those spots, you were like, oh, he's obviously must have really good taste in insurance. I'm definitely going to consider State Farm now, because I imagine Patrick really did his research and made sure this was the right, insurance company for him and his family. So I think there's a difference between when you're using talent for entertainment value to sort of drive maybe buzz or kind of engagement with your brand, versus when you have a strategic partnership with a celebrity like Jennifer Aniston, where you know instinctively that Jen has great taste in fitness, that she knows, right, that she's not going to say, I believe in this product, I believe in this brand, I believe in this modality, I think it's a game changer, if she doesn't feel that way, right? I mean, it's just, so I think there's there's a difference between those types of celebrity partnerships.
Hey there, merchant. Are you tired of trying to navigate the wild world of e-commerce on your own? Are you looking for a partner to help you achieve your goals? Look no further than the Shopify Plus agency Electric Eye. Our team has a proven track record of helping our clients make millions with strategic design and development. Whether you're migrating from a legacy platform to Shopify, designing a new theme for your store, or just looking to optimize what you already have, Electric Eye is the perfect partner for you. Electric Eye are true Shopify experts. Not only is our Shopify knowledge unparalleled, but we have partnerships with all the best tech in the Shopify ecosystem. And don't worry, we're easy to get a hold of. Our clients rave about our fast communication. So here's the deal. If you're an e-commerce business doing over $1 million a year, you can receive a complimentary Shopify diagnostic from our team of experts. That's free, personalized, strategic recommendations to improve your store and grow your business. To get started, head on over to electriceye.io/connect to schedule an intro call with one of our experts. That's electriceye.io/connect.
Now, she wouldn't have got involved if she didn't believe in the team and the product and the story. So take me back. Talk to me about kind of who founded the company. What was that all about? How did things go? What's the origin story?
Yeah. So our company was founded by a woman named Rachel Katzman. And her story is really, a classic founder story, like the kinds you love, where see a need, fill a need, identify a problem, find solution to problem, and say, man, there must be other people who have this problem. I should make this a business. And that's really what happened with Rachel, where she was, in her 20s, living in New York, going to all the, kind of popular boutique fitness studios, working out a ton, working really hard to sort of achieve the body that she wanted. And eventually started to feel like not good, and realized through a diagnosis that she had scoliosis, and wanted to maintain a fit lifestyle, but kind of needed a different approach. And she discovered functional fitness and functional movement and realized, oh my God, I could get all the sort of results that I've been wanting and more through this method, but it works with my body in a way that doesn't hurt. It doesn't thrash. It kind of makes me feel better. It's more sustainable fitness. And so that light bulb for her was the spark that kind of started the company. And she started to develop the equipment that comes with the method. And the reason the equipment is so important versus just doing the movements is that the equipment builds strength, so that you can imagine you're pulling, let's say you're doing resistance training while you're doing these dynamic movements. And so it's lighting up all those muscles. It's sculpting and toning your body and building strength, while it's also building flexibility and mobility and stability in the body. So you're getting a great strength training workout at the same time that you're really kind of expanding your range of motion.
That's amazing. Now, how long was it just her until she started to hire a team? Obviously, until you came along. And now, was this bootstrap? Was she getting funding? How did that all play out?
Yeah. So she's had very fortunate to have had a funder, and but she early on she realized, okay, if we're going to make a company, we need people, and she brought on our president, Julie Cartwright, who's been with the brand since essentially the beginning. And they started, they obviously had to hire technology partners to build out the streaming membership and the e-commerce website. They obviously had to find manufacturing and logistics partners to develop the equipment and help design it in a way that allowed them to file for these patents, because our equipment is slightly different than some of the equipment that you could just buy, generic equipment you could buy on Amazon. So yeah, I mean, we're still a very small company. And we were lucky to have partners along the way, agencies or vendors who come in, provide with a solution to a very specific problem. We solve that problem. And then so we haven't had to necessarily build out a very large corporate structure. And now the beauty of franchising is that we have this wonderful model, and we have this incredible partnership with Jennifer Aniston. And so there's a lot of interest by people who are curious about franchising or already deep into franchising to add Pvolve to their lives. And that's so exciting because, as you know, since COVID, we kind of live in this very hybrid world. Like you and I, maybe 10 years ago, would have done this interview in person, right? I would have come to a studio. We would have recorded together, physically together. But now we live with hybrid work, hybrid medical care, right? Telemedicine, right? Hybrid retail, right? Sometimes you buy online, sometimes you go to the store. And the same is true of fitness. So what's really cool about Pvolve is the fact that it kind of, you have the convenience of being able to do it from home. And we have this booming boutique studio business vis-a-vis franchising that allows you to do it in person. So the company I think we started out as, and the company it is today, this year we'll have our 7th anniversary in November. It's kind of like wildly, just wild growth ride.
Let's talk more about you. I know when there are executive hires made, you're usually kind of coming in to solve some very specific problems, build some very specific systems. So what's your day-to-day like at the company? What are you kind of responsible for? What's in your wheelhouse?
Yeah. So I oversee all marketing functions. So communications, brand, creative, demand generation, or what is typically called growth marketing. I also oversee product and technology. So our engineering and product development resources sit on my team as well. And then as part of the marketing mix, we obviously have our, B2C, right? Our consumer facing marketing function. And then we have our B2B marketing function, which supports our franchise development business. So it's a diverse mix of responsibilities. And it really, for me, it fuels a lot of my professional kind of curiosities, because I've spent my career in working at this sort of intersection of technology and media and consumer products. But what's been really fun is the sort of brick and mortar side of the business that's been growing so much, something that I hadn't necessarily done as much in my career, and now get to touch. Yeah.
It's always rewarding to pick up new skills as you kind of advance your career.
Well, yeah. And you have to, right? If you don't, you become a bit of a dinosaur, the world is constantly changing. Marketing is constantly changing. How consumers experience products is constantly changing. I talked about the disruption that COVID has caused, or disruption, I mean, in sort of consumer habits, right? Where we went from a world that was slowly transitioning online, but then we all got locked inside, and all of a sudden everything became digital. And then we came back outside and we were craving IRL, but there was all this advancement, all this sort of kind of stickiness and innovation that happened online. And now we're like in this very hybrid world that we probably would have got to eventually, but got to much more quickly. And so I think as marketers, you have to understand culture and how people live in order to be relevant. And so for me, I'm always craving that. I always kind of, as Wayne Gretzky said, I'm trying to skate to where the puck is going,
Absolutely. Now, our audience out there, there's obviously quite a few listeners that are just getting started. They've got their first idea. Maybe they've set up their shop. They're already selling. Is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you think might resonate with the younger entrepreneurs that are just kind of getting their feet wet in this world?
Oh gosh, I don't know what would resonate necessarily, but I think that, as you know, right now I'm at Pvolve, which is a much smaller, scrappier, more startup culture than, say, WarnerMedia, which was owned by AT&T, you know? And so I can say that when you're in a very bootstrapped, scrappy startup mode, you know, you're picking and choosing what you want to invest in very wisely, right? Like, you have to make sure everything you spend your money on is going to have the most maximum ROI. You don't have a lot of fat, right? You can't. Waste is scary, right? To make the wrong decision is scary, especially if you're spending your limited resources on it. And so one of the things I've kind of discovered as being incredibly helpful in a startup environment is like relationships, networking, you know, calling on the wisdom of others to give you advice and help you avoid mistakes that, you know, you if you don't ask the question, you might make the mistake. They could, you know, it could save you. Those conversations probably could save you from some pitfalls. So I found like building your network and having conversations and learning from others and asking questions and being able to kind of avoid blind spots. You know, look, you're going to make mistakes no matter what, but I found that to be beyond, because it used to be like you sit at a big company and a lot of the time you're like, well, we'll just hire a consultant, you know, but when you're like 10 people, you're not hiring from someone from Bain or McKinsey, right? You know, you're going to get on LinkedIn and see if you can find somebody to give you 15 minutes of their time to tell you how they did it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if that's helpful advice, but.
Oh, no, I think it is. So if I'm listening to this and I want to check out a Pvolve class online, or maybe even see if there's one in my city, where should I go? What should I do?
Yeah, so we're at pvolve.com is the website. We have a 7-day trial. So if you want to just watch the classes and look at them and see if they're right for you before you buy any equipment, you can do that. Also, all of our equipment comes with a 30-day money back guarantee, meaning like you can buy a bundle, use it, and if you return it within 30 days, like, get all your money back. So it's totally risk-free. So that's probably the best way to experience it at home is get the equipment in your hands. You know, it's harder to take the classes if you don't have some of the pieces. If you want to do Pvolve in person, you can check out on our website. We have a list of locations. And there's several that we're opening in the next 6 months, and about 8 that we're open now, and several opening in sort of with grand openings coming, like I said, in the next 90 days. So you can find it all on the website, pvolve.com.
Awesome. We'll make sure to link to that in the show notes. Karina, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.